Yeah.
Are we in frame here?
I think we are in frame because the frame is from here to there.
Oh, okay.
It's a wide angle,
So
so we are in frame. And the height is, there are no cut-off heads. You know, when I do it by myself, I kind of do a little short and I come back and then I see that my head is cut off. Headless, headless represented.
Yes.
Hello everybody. So today my stop is in San Diego, and this is James Alburger, and he is a great voice actor, and he is a great man, and I have very special feeling and special respect for James because in a way the birth of VocalBoothToGo as a company was because of him. I started as you know, the moving blankets, and then some people, producers online, said like, can you do the moving blankets that are thicker and more sound absorptive and, you know, cheaper than the foam? So I said, sure, I can do that. And, you know, we had the little tweaking, and it took maybe a couple of years before the blanket actually was suitable with acoustic quality. Because acoustic quality has to be more than 50% sound absorption. Anything below that is not acoustic blanket. So yeah, so I worked on that and made it, and we did acoustic test, and then suddenly I see that people from kind of California are coming in, and then I got an invitation to attend the Voice 2012 conference, and I never heard about James Alburger before. I'm not the voice, I'm not the voice actor, but that was then. So and I was thinking, no, I can't go to the voice conference as a mover's supplies. It's not gonna work. And that's how pretty much VocalBoothToGo came to be. And after that, it was a great conference. There was like 600 people or something.
We had a lot of people there.
Yeah, there was a lot of people. And there was a huge line. That's, like I said, I didn't know who James Alburger was before, but when I came there with my stuff, I saw the huge line, and it was going from the hall of the hotel. It was in Hilton, right?
2012, we were in Anaheim at the Disneyland Hotel.
Disneyland Hotel. Yeah, and so the line was like from the lobby of the hotel, out of the street, around the block. And I'm like, why are they there? And they all were going around to get the picture with James and get his signature. You know, so he is, and this is all his awards over here.
Yeah.
Now, I think he's gonna talk about it more. I just want to kind of say my appreciation. So after that, so we've been on the conference, and after that I was thinking, designing the booth. And one thing I also want to tell about James, he's a wealth of knowledge, and he's very generous about that knowledge. When I ask him, like, simply, and I'm kind of nobody, like I said, I didn't know him before at all. I ask him a small question, he gives me like 3 pages answer for that. Detail in this. This is like, I'm really appreciative of that. And today we are in James' home, and I was here yesterday, and I looked at that and I said, people have to see it. People have to see it because his sound excellent, and I mean, he is working on the all hit movies, and you know, he had 11 Grammys. So this is the man. This is the man.
11 Emmys.
Emmys. Sorry, 11 Emmys. Yeah. So this is somebody I have great respect for. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you.
So here, I'll give the microphone or camera to you on stage.
Okay. Well, first, welcome. Welcome to San Diego.
Thank you very much.
And welcome to my place, my home, and my studios. And actually, some of you watching this may have been students of my Voice Acting Academy workshops, and you may have been here taking one of my workshops. If not, go to voiceacting.com and check out the schedule for my performance intensive event workshops, because I generally teach them here at my home in San Diego, which is about 20% home, 80% studio. So I kind of live in the studio.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I noticed yesterday. I said some people have a studio at home, you have home in the studio.
Yeah, that's about it. That's about the way it is. But it works well. Right now we're in the downstairs area. This is the classroom area of the workshop. And this part right here is where my students are seated. And then over in another part of the room here is my recording studio, computer, microphones, music stands. This is where people are working on mic during my workshops. Right now it's a bit of a mess. I'm between courses. We're kind of on hiatus for the workshops. And I also use this area for doing maintenance and setting up equipment and checking things, and so that's what's here right now. So let's go on upstairs to the booth and the control room. Come on into my booth. This is my voiceover booth. I have the Producer's Choice sound blankets on the ceiling track surrounding the entire room, and that works out very well. It creates a very nice acoustically dead environment. A couple of things that I've done to really enhance the sound in this room is this is basically an extra bedroom in the home. So it's about 8 by 8, good size. I can fit 4 or 5 people in here if I need to. And it has an outside wall with a window. And one of the things that I've done to acoustically treat that wall is, in fact, I'll show you over here. If I pull back this part of the blanket, you'll see at the below this fiberglass panel, this is 1-inch fiberglass that is on top of a layer of mass-loaded vinyl. Mass-loaded vinyl is very heavy, very dense, and it's a sound block, so it blocks sound. It literally stops sound dead in its tracks. So the mass-loaded vinyl is using drywall screws. It's attached to the inside of the exterior wall. I have a double layer over the window because that's an acoustically vulnerable spot. And then on top of that I have 1-inch fiberglass ceiling panel uncut. These are originally 4 by 8 sheets, and I trimmed them at the bottom so that they would allow for the electrical outlets.
Okay.
And then over that there's an air gap, and the Producer's Choice sound blankets are over the vinyl. So
yeah, that air gap, I want to say that air gap is very important.
Yes.
Because for the sound to be all these layers over here, well, this panel is also sound absorbent, but all these layers are dense and they would be reflective. What blanket does, it blocks the reflections, and that extra space allows it to kind of increase the efficiency on that. That's extra 6 inches of airspace. That's very smart. That's very smart. That's how it should be done.
And then in my ceilings, what a lot of people think about is they're thinking about the 4 walls as being parallel surfaces. And this is why all 4 walls of the room are treated with the blankets, because a solid wall is a reflective surface, and you have 2 walls facing each other. That's going to cause standing waves or a slap echo. You'll really hear it noticeably in a bathroom of tile. You'll hear a lot of slap echo going on in there. But a lot of people forget about the floor and the ceiling. Those are also parallel surfaces. So I have a carpeted floor, which helps, but there's still a solid drywall ceiling. I took the popcorn off because that's basically useless as an acoustical material. So it's a solid, just a painted drywall ceiling. But in order to create diffusion of the sound, I have these fiberglass panels. These are actually cut from the bottom of the panels that are on the wall. And these are hung at an angle on the ceiling to prevent reflected sounds between the floor and the ceiling.
And also creates some diffusion too.
It creates some sound diffusion. It also gives me different sounds in different parts of the room. Mm-hmm. If you're standing directly under one of these panels, which is where I'll often put a voice talent, it's very dead because any sound that goes up to the ceiling is being reflected at an angle or absorbed, and is therefore, it makes it very dead. However, there's one part of the ceiling right in the center that is still open. It doesn't have a sound cloud up there. And what that does is it brightens the sound. So I get a little bit of bounce off of that part of the ceiling, which brightens up the voice just a little bit. So
you did that intentionally?
That's intentional, absolutely. Most of the big box recording studios have a live end, which is a little bit reflective, and then they'll have a dead end, which is very, very absorptive. And that gives them the ability to put their vocalists or singers or instruments in different parts of the room to get a slightly different sound, especially for acoustical
All
instruments
right.
and voices.
So basically, you replicated the $100 million studio in this 6x6 room or 6x8
pretty much,
room.
yes. That's pretty much.
very
I grew up
smart.
in recording studios, so I brought a lot of my experience and some shortcuts into this room once I built it.
And see, you have no foam over here at all. Oh, the other thing also, you see how much he cares about the reflection. There's a soft, you see even this table,
Yeah.
plastic table, there is a soft mat on top of that.
Now this mat is a memory foam bath mat, is what it is, and it just happens to perfectly fit on top of this table that I got at Acoustic.
And it cancels whatever this reflections from that.
It eliminates the
sounding.
reflections from the
Yeah.
table.
Yeah.
Now, I can't write on it, so if I need to
You have a
do any
computer.
writing, most of what I work off the computer.
Yeah.
So my computer in here, I have a keyboard, mouse, and monitor screen, which are all connected directly to my control room, which is at the other end of the house. And we'll go down there in a minute. But with that, I can now run my software, look at a script, read the script. I can have my voice over here so I can either be standing or sitting. The monitor's at enough of a height so that I can stand and still see the monitor clearly. Or, in a lot of situations, I'll just bring in a hard copy of the script, use the copy stand and my mic from over here.
So basically, when your students are here, you're out there in control room.
Right. If I'm working with a student, they would be in here, and I'm in the control room directing and engineering. Sometimes I'll actually, if I'm doing a private coaching session, often I'll have a mic set up down in the control room because I'm not worried about acoustics. It's more a training experience for that. So I'm not worried about the sound as much. But if I'm doing a recording session for a client, ADR session for a film, for example, or a commercial voice track, I'll have my client in here. And they'll be doing the voice track. I have the room set up for monitoring in two ways. The talent can either monitor on headphones, because a lot of voice actors want to be able to hear themselves in their own ears as they're performing. But what happens is I also bring in a lot of actors. And actors, if they're hearing themselves in their ears as they're performing, that fold back of the audio gets confusing to some actors. So when I'm working with an actor, I also have the room set up so that they can listen over a loudspeaker. So I have a little PA speaker in here, monitor, headphone amplifier. So the actors can hear me communicate to them over the speaker. And if I have to play something back, they'll hear that over the speaker. Now, if I'm doing an ADR session, a dialogue replacement session for a film, that's all done over headphones. Because I can't have an audio playback, a live speaker playback while the actor is talking.
Yeah.
Because I'll get both audios then. So I need to have the isolation. So they'll have headphones on for an ADR session.
All right. So shall we move to control room?
Yes. Oh, one other thing about this room is I have a webcam in here.
Oh, okay.
Which is also connected to my computer down in the control room. And that serves as my double glass window. So not only can I record the talent from down here, I can also see what they're doing. And that's really important because as a director, I need to see what my actors are doing. How are they moving? What's their facial expressions? Is their body language and their movement consistent and coherent with the words that they're speaking? Is the energy right?
Yeah.
And if I can't see them, it's a limitation. So I really like to be able to see what my actors are doing, and that way I can direct them more accurately into their performance.
Yeah, because they have to be really in the character, right?
It's all about character.
Yeah.
Everything in voiceover is about character.
And that's what you have in your control room.
Yeah.
Let's see that.
Okay, let's get down to the control room.
So this is the control room. This is a spaceship, huh?
Well, I wouldn't say spaceship, but that's definitely my control room. And my control room is set up for fully digital control room. So I have a digital audio board. As I said, everything from the booth is connected to this room, so that's all coming into here. Microphones, all my talkback monitoring goes out of here back down to the booth. And the computer is fully remote controllable from the booth as well as here, so it makes it for a very functional production space.
So what about the bunny?
Well, up on top of my two speakers I have Ducky and Bunny.
Which one is Ducky? Which one is Bunny?
Well, Ducky is over on the right. Ducky is the bunny, and Bunny is and the duck is Bunny.
Okay.
And it's intentionally named that just to confuse people.
To confuse people.
Yes. And the reason I have Ducky and Bunny up there is, well, I've got a couple of other little stuffed animals up there. That's just as a reminder that voiceover is all about creating characters. Whether it's a wacky character for a cartoon or a real person, everything is character. There's attitudes, belief systems, delivery style, physicalization. I mean, there's so many layers to it.
All right.
Making sure the job is done right.
Okay, this is great. This was very, very good. Thank you very much.
My pleasure.
I'm sure everybody's gonna find it very informative.
I hope so. And again, if anybody watching this has any questions, voiceacting.com is my training website.
James is really knows his stuff. It just, I have a goosebump as I talk about him.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Bye.
Bye.